We're getting pretty close to Christmas. Have you chosen all your presents yet? If not, this video is for you. This is how to choose a Christmas present for someone. You're welcome. Number 1, what you need to do, if you haven't already, is get into spy mode. All the way throughout the year, if possible, you need to be keeping an eye on what that person that you are going to buy a present for, because I'm assuming that if you're going to buy a present for them, then you like them, then you have some sort of relationship. You need to be spying on them, make sure you know what it is that they want, because the number 1 mistake that people make when they buy presents for other people is to buy something that they like, as in the person buying the present likes. That doesn't matter, that's not a good present. Don't even, no, stop it. It's for somebody else. You're not buying something for you. I'm assuming that you're coming at this, because you're watching this video, from a position where you do not have the pre-prepared spy mode stuff. Birthing ball, by the way. Keep having to do a disclaimer. In which case, we're going to go through a few things that might trigger some inspiration for you. What does this person that you're buying a present for care about? That is the question that we need to answer. Also, what's your budget? Because they might like a really fancy yacht and you probably can't buy that. You could 3D print one potentially if you had a 3D printer, but it's going to be a little bit on the nose if it's not something they can actually utilise. So that is a fair question. Can you make what you think they would like? If so, a handmade present is really nice. It shows that you put the effort in. But equally, if they really hate it and you've spent hours printing it out and thinking about it, it's going to be a bit annoying, isn't it? But then that's also useful information, because you can work out whether they are worth buying a present for and making a present for in future. It's that CBA equation, cost-benefit analysis, before you get hiffy with me. We're going to move on and just assume that it is. Segue into laziness. Do they have an Amazon wish list that you can kind of piggyback off the back of? If they do, be careful, because it could be quite an old Amazon wish list. I, for example, have a fair number of things that I've added for previous hobbies that I'm not currently pursuing. So if someone tried to be caring and bought me something from there, I'd be a bit like, don't really want that anymore. It's just not worth the admin for cleaning it up, you know what I mean? We've segued out of laziness. The next question you need to ask yourself is, do you really care? If you don't care and it's low effort, then just get them something generic, like, hey, Merry Christmas, have some socks. There's a lot of very generic presents that you can get depending on your budget. I mean, there's presents at every budget, so you could go that route. Next up, think about their best interests. I, for example, expressed an interest in a polar bear ice cube tray, which was really, really cute, and it was from a brand I liked, and my friend at the time had noted this down and purchased it for me, and it just took up space in the freezer. It was really impractical, so it was really cute, and I went, that is adorable, I love it, but it just wasn't useful. It was just collecting dust, and that's really sad, because I had to say goodbye to it, but long term, it's just not worth the stress and hassle. So if you care about this person to whom you are devoting your time, energy and money, then think about that, bear that in mind. Assuming none of the options so far have gotten you to the place that you are in a position to buy a present. What do you do now? Questions, it's time for the questions. You'll be glad to hear. Numero uno, nostalgia. The nostalgia factor, very important. A lot of stuff we have around the house is nostalgic. It's quality and nostalgia together. It becomes important to us. That is the key of a really good present. It either becomes something nostalgic because of your use and your connection with it, or it's got that little bit already in there, so you're setting yourself up for success. Por ejemplo, when we were growing up, and this is going to age us, Pokemon Tazoos, they were a really fun thing. You opened a pack of, what's it, it's sort of quavers, and then you had this little Tazooey thing, little card. It was a circle, it was holographic, which was so snazzy back in the day, and it had a Pokemon on it, and it was a bit like gambling, but you had a packet of crisps and it was relatively low on the risk scale, though I imagine it probably set a few kids up for failure in that sense. But the important thing is that you could buy these packets of Pokemon Tazoos from people who have collected them over the years and be like, well, actually I don't want these anymore. But that, as a present, if you spend 20 quid on that, you go, hey, I remember all those Tazoos. It just sparks something inside. Then they're sitting in your house and you're going to be the next person to be like, oh, I better put these on eBay because they only serve a certain amount of purpose. But can you take that nostalgia factor? I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting something fancy like Le Creuset and Pokemon together. I think they did something, or there's the old collab between Le Creuset and what I would regard as maybe some brands that I wouldn't want in the kitchen. So I don't know, if you're going to spend the money on a Le Creuset, maybe just get a Le Creuset. That in itself, if your target audience is happy with that, then you're probably on for a winner. We generally get Christmas presents, or presents in general, for the house because we have so much stuff. It has to be something quite special for us to use our disposable income on it because we've already got everything that we need. So we're like, oh, a robot vacuum cleaner, particular frying pan. Oh, that's how adults become sad adults, isn't it? But then you get some really nice things. You're like, oh, look, I got a stainless steel pan. Very exciting. A lot of the things that we're talking about are revolving around usefulness. Is there something that your precious presentee is having an issue with? So are they cycling to work and they always get wet legs? Maybe you could get them some over trousers. As long as they don't go, oh, I can't stylistically, then just get them a pair of leggings. Do you know their size? There's a lot of, you have to be quite close to somebody to be able to get that level of utility out of it. But it's worth a bear in mind. How about a gift that keeps on giving? You could get them a subscription, something they really like coffee or chocolate or flowers. You know what they say the best gifts are though? Experiences. If you really, really value them, then get them an experience with you. Maybe take them to a glass making workshop, a candle making workshop, a dinner out at a fancy restaurant that they like. Make sure you give them options as well. Don't get them necessarily a spa day. They could absolutely hate the spa. Do not have it non-refundable. That is probably a key factor that you may want to factor in, because spa day certificates are quite expensive. I'd also say think about your budget range, because if you can get them something really nice within your budget range rather than something crappy in a higher budget range for the same price, get them the really nice thing, because otherwise then they've got gifts that they have to pay extra to upgrade it or something that doesn't feel as much like a gift then. The key takeaway for this is think about them. They are the person receiving the gift. You are spending your money and time and effort on it. Make sure it's worth it and it's not just a transactional exchange. Is there anything I've missed? Let me know in the comments. Happy gifting. See you tomorrow.